Hello, this is Dr. J. BERK, psychologist, Beechwood, Ohio, and I'd like to take this opportunity to talk to you about electronics and video games, but a special topic today is called loot boxes. Now, I'm not sure how many of you know what a loot box is, and I'm not talking about Fruit Loops, and I'm not talking about loot in terms of, other things that might be considered as loot, like in the old days, a treasure chest. So it's a comparison. A loot box now is considered gambling in many states and countries. And it's something to watch out for in games because it's very tempting. So what's a loot box? So a loot box is basically the idea of when you're out at Denny's, which I go out to Denny's with my friend, there's like the claw machine, and the claw machine will grab items if you get it just right. And usually there's a bunch of junk in there that you could buy for pennies on the dollar and a couple good things. I remember when iPods came out, there was a good iPod in there. And, the odds of getting an iPod are not very good. Well, loot box is kind of the same idea. Loot box is you're paying to buy things, but you're not really sure exactly what's there. And so that concept to be able to understand and talk to your kids about, because it's really the concept of gambling. Now, we know that slot machines are really addictive to people. It's the number one thing that they make money off of in Vegas. And why does it work? Because you might win. And people do win sometimes. And in a loot box, sometimes kids do get great stuff. But most of the time they don't. And even so, it's still making money for the company all the time. Now, realize, if you don't know this, many of these games, they're doing what's called microeconomics or microtransactions. So microtransactions are small transactions that add up to a lot of money. So it's getting a skin, it's getting a powered up position, getting better weapons, things like that you can get. And once you do that, it gives you an opportunity to build power in situations where you are going to have a battle or something like that you may want to engage in a more powerful way. So if I keep putting money into the loot box, I might win. And again, it's going to get me almost a high in terms of, spin the magic wheel and see if I'm going to get what I want, and that idea. So this is a short message to be able to talk to your kids about loot boxes and gambling and understanding gambling itself, because you can sort of slide into this without even knowing it. And parents often aren't aware what this is, and kids aren't aware of how addictive it can be. So talk to your kids about the concept of a loot box and ask them if they're playing games with loot boxes. And there are countries that are banning loot boxes, so it's something to be aware of in today's world. Thanks for listening. This is the opportunity for parents to learn skills and to help your child do better in many situations. Jay BERK, psychologist, Beechwood, Ohio. Thanks for listening.